Hello, Heatseekers. It's the Heat Sheet.
Hello, Heatseekers. Stephen here again to bring another opinion piece, and this time I want to give you my 2 cents about the Becky Lynch situation. It's been confirmed that her WWE contract has expired. She's officially a free agent, or should that be free man? Don't worry about me, I won't quit my job. And certainly don't worry about Mrs. Lopez, formerly Rebecca Quinn, because currently she is in a very powerful position. Right now, she could demand just about any number she wanted to any potential suitor for her services, and I don't believe I have to explain why. She's been for the better part of a decade now one of the biggest and brightest and boldest stars in wrestling. In my view, she pretty much carried WWE in both 2018 and 2019, a period in which it saw its on-screen creativity fall to an all-time low. She, of course, was the centrepiece of the first ever all-female WrestleMania main event, and she has a reputation of a non-stop hard-working pro. So where will it be? Well, the safe bet is to re-sign with WWE. She's already a bona fide star, a regular main eventer. She's highly thought of by management. She has a dedicated fan base there, and she knows how to work the politics. And of course, the love of her life and father of her daughter, Seth Rollins, still works there, so it's a no-brainer, right? Back to the Fed goes Bex. But not so fast. What is there to go back to now? Look at her accolades. Multiple world title runs. She's been a tag team champion, an NXT champion, a Royal Rumble winner, the aforementioned first women's WrestleMania main eventer. She's won Wrestler of the Year. She's even released a best-selling book. She's been been on the cover of the 2K game. She even fulfilled the wrestler dream of working with your two childhood idols, and in Becky's case, that's her heroines, Lita and Trish Stratus. She truly does have the been there, done that, bought the t-shirt CV of a WWE superstar. She's got nothing left to prove, and she's got nothing left to prove to the company or to anyone. It also feels that there's no one left to wrestle there. Every story has been told, and there's no fights left to win. And due to that, she runs the risk of fans getting sick of her, and before you know it, she's attracting go-home heat. That'd be really sad to see, and it's something I really hope would never happen to her. Also, you have to wonder why WWE has allowed her contract to wind down. She's proved to be one of their bankable stars. You would think that come renewal time, they would be working all hours to get her signature back on a spanking new contract. And yet here we are. I think that it could perhaps be that WWE are ready to move on from Becky Lynch. Now, I don't mean that they see no more value in her. More that they are now ready to build a new generation of stars within its women's division. Now, although Bayley is the reigning WWE Women's Champion, we truly are at the end of the four horsewoman era. Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, Zoe Starks, Nia Jax, Cora Jade, Tiffany Stratton. Those are the female stars that WWE are banking on in the future. And I reckon WWE feels it's time to move on from Lynch. And I even believe by now that the feeling is mutual. So, when the Fed don't want you anymore, the obvious answer has to be All Elite Wrestling, AEW. Becky Elite does have a ring to it, and we all know Tony Khan has deep pockets, pockets that goes deep at the ocean, as it might be. He's rumoured to have signed Mercedes Moné to a contract worth $10 million. I can only imagine he would be all too happy to offer Beck something in the same region, or perhaps even more. If they were to sign her now, it would give AEW some huge clout in their negotiating platforms for a new TV deal. In terms of how seismic a signing it would be since its inception in 2019, I would say it would be their biggest one to date. And yes, I include the signings of CM Punk, Will Ospreay, Adam Cole, Sting, etc., all within that conversation. When you consider how big and important Lynch was to WWE in the past 6 or 7 years, it would be an enormous get for AEW, and it's something I think that they really need, given the rumours that WWE are aiming to hoover up a lot of AEW's talents come contract renewal periods. There's reports that they're aiming to sign Hook, Britt Baker, Penta, Ricky Starks, and earlier this year they re-signed Andrade, and then just last week, Ethan Page popped up on NXT following his contract ending in AEW. So with that in mind, AEW need to show they mean business when it comes to stealing talents from their big rival, and talents rarely get bigger than Becky Lynch. Now, of course, that's all beneficial to AEW. So what would the benefits be to Becky herself, apart from a 10-figure valued contract? Well, someone with her name value and talent would be granted some creative freedoms and powers. There's also a whole field of talented women to have on-screen feuds with, not least of all an old frenemy in the aforementioned Monet. Then there's Willow Nightingale, Julia Hart, Britt Baker, Mariah May, Saraya, Chris Statlander, and the one that I would be most keen to see, Toni Storm. But what would the risk be? Well, AEW has a more high-risk, indie-looking in-ring style. Lynch has spent a decade plus working the safer WWE sports entertainment style, and no offence to her, I think she's a bit too long in the tooth now to be making drastic changes to her wrestling style, and that's a big risk to take physically as well. Then there's the often rumoured toxicity and cliquiness of AEW's locker room. We've heard in recent times that WWE talents have taken the jump over to AEW and at times met with hostility and mistrust. Would Becky really want to join a locker room with that much division, even if it were all for the love of the game? Now, there's a third option as well, and that's do nothing. Put your feet up, retire, at least temporarily. She's earned it. She can stay at home, take care of her daughter, watch her as she grows, and let Seth go out and be the breadwinner. Maybe that's exactly what she wants to do. Wrestling full-time is hard. It's tiring. It's crippling to the body. Maybe she's decided it's time to cash in the chips while she's still ahead, and maybe she wants to do something else. She's dabbled in acting before, both her and Seth have said to the media that appearing in more movies appeals to them. Her book seems to be doing well. Why not do a follow-up? Or maybe she's biding her time. Maybe she wants to take a spell off, and when the time is right for her, she'll show up again, get the monster return pop, and go on one more run. If she does that, I know that Big Time Pex will be getting some big time bucks. I'm Stephen Roach, and that's my opinion.
Hello, Heatseekers. It's the Heat Sheet.